right, guys. So today we are going to be talking about Power Rangers once and always. So, disclaimer, right? I'm going to be talking about this film, which it was a film, right? Because I feel like there was a season 1 or something. It seems like they're gearing to go for like a couple seasons of this, but I hope not. But like, so let me just say this. So I'm coming at you guys with, like, of course, hindsight 2020. The film's been out now, so yeah, I totally understand. I'm coming from the, like, what I would have done perspective, right? And it's come out a month ago or so, I believe. And so this, and I watched it a couple times. So this is all coming from a passionate hindsight. I understand, like, things are filmed and this is how we're going to have them type of deal. But I'm also coming at it from, like, a missed opportunity point of view. Now, Power Rangers for me is a lot of things, a ton of things. It was the first TV series that I could remember that I gravitate and I truly cared about what was going to happen on the next episode. And to be fair, everything that was premiering or showing on Fox Kids was like a whole lot of, like, the first time I gave two shits about what was happening on a continuous episode. So, like, I would always come back and watch it, basically. Everything else was like, if it was on, it was on. But Power Rangers, and then X-Men, the animated series, and then Spider-Man, and all the other good stuff. But it was Power Rangers first. Secondly, culturally, without me knowing, this is the first time that I was introduced to kaiju and big robot machines, and it led to why I like and care about Pacific Rim so much, and I hate what happened to that franchise because it could have been so much more than the sequel and the straight to Netflix animation. Again, missed opportunities. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a couple things that I would have changed to make this story seem, I don't know, more cohesive and better. And again, these are my opinions. If you guys have some other ways you would have made Power Rangers once and always better, please drop them in the comments below. Let's talk about this. And honestly, this was for me. This was directed towards me. This was for my generation, millennial generation. Like I was saying, this is for us. This was for us. So let's just go ahead and jump into this. So first things first, there is a first thing first I want to talk about, but I guess we'll address why this is the first things first. I do not know for the life of me why Billy was the focus of this movie or season, if you will. I don't get it. And, like, okay, to say I don't get it, I guess it's kind of disingenuous, right? I get it. I don't know how to say this next part, but I'm going to say it how best I feel, right? Which is, supposedly David Yost had been pitching this to networks before. And let me clarify why I say supposedly. Jason David Frank has quite literally been a living pitch for a reboot. So, well, which came first, the chicken or the egg? I feel like Jason David Frank had been pitching this for quite a while. But whatever, maybe Billy presented it on paper. Neither here or there, but we will get there in a moment. So if we're going by that, like, yeah, he pitched this idea, this is why he was a starring vehicle. Look, man, no. I think in this position, equally, like, we're, again, I have the liberty and the ability to say hindsight 2020 to see the future of this, right? But looking at it as an actor, I would say the actor who plays Zach Walter has the most acting credentials since Power Rangers. I mean, heck, he was just in House Party. So in my opinion, he's fresh in the mind of everybody. He does, like, he's got to be, right underneath that Jason David Frank as far as con appearances. So he's fresh in everybody's mind. It makes more sense to me to have Zach be the main character in this film than Billy. As a character and as an actor, I mean, he can act. You know, I don't know. I'm assuming this is David Yosta's like first time in front of the camera in a long time, and it showed. So I wouldn't have made that decision. I would have put the starring vehicle behind Zach. He's a better actor. Heck, I've been following Walter Jones since Power Rangers when he did Backyard Dogs. Like, that was a big deal for me because I was just starting my like pro wrestling training. So when I saw like the Black Ranger was in an indie wrestling movie, I was in. So I've been following him since then. Like, he's in everybody's mind. So I don't know why. And I feel like sometimes these things come down to ego, but I feel like if we're all going to eat, like, the obvious choice would have been Walter Jones to be the main character. And I guess you could make the argument that, yeah, he's like second lead or supporting actor or whatever. He's kind of the lead, but not really. But he should have been carrying the bulk of like he should have 90% of the lines, guys. Like, let's just be honest. Okay, so here's the deal. Trini's daughter. There is no need for her. And if we're telling the story of legacy, like there's going to be a new Mighty Morphin team. In my opinion, to give to make the story heavier, I would have. Okay, we're gonna do two things. Okay, so one of the missed opportunities I think they had was dealing with Trini, and that was basically they could have made it so when Trini died as a ranger, her essence went in the morphing grid, thereby saying, and it would have added more, like, I don't know, another spiritual level of like Trini is always with us, like she's always around us because she is part of the morphing grid. She's part of that spiritual connection that connects all rangers. So she's always with us. So I think they missed that beat. Like they could have used that, but it was a wasted opportunity. And I thought it was a unique way to keep Trini in mind and spirit as the series went on. Okay, so Trini's daughter, again, I've said she doesn't have to be there, but if she is there, I would have made her Zach's daughter also. I would have made Trini and Zach married. I think it would have been harder, a heavier death to hold. Like, not only does it look like, yes, this is Zach's fault, but he is the death of a teammate, a death of a wife, a death of the mother, and this is both because like they're in there a lot, and it's like by that I mean like Zach and Trini's daughter are both together a lot in this film, and I just might as well just make them father and daughter. I mean, like that would have made more sense to me, and this would have added more like gravitas to like everything that was happening, and I think that, again, another wasted opportunity. 3. So, say what you will about Robo Rita. Some people love her. Some people hate her. I am on the fence with her. Like, there's a couple ways they could have done Robo Rita, or just bringing back Rita in general. One way, as I came up with, is that, like, yes, maybe Zach is trying to fiddle with time travel. And as we remember, Rita and Zed are good now. They have had their power stripped from them. They're normal people. And maybe the new Rita is helping Zach try to figure out this time travel. In doing so, new Rita gets hit with her past essence, thus the rebirth of new Rita. Like, she knows everything the old Rita knows and the new Rita knows and everything. That makes her a greater threat because she has been working with Billy in the new command center place, and she knows all the ins and outs. So I think that would have been amazing. The third thing they could have done, and I thought, is at least in our version, and not a Super Sentai. In Super Sentai, I believe this character plays a bigger role, like especially towards the end, is if they brought back Scorpina. She was always there. There wasn't a big story with her, but I felt like she was like devastating. Like, and I think, again, using time travel and bringing back somebody from the past and giving yourself the ability to bring somebody from the past, but then tell a new story with a new villain. Like, again, we're talking about legacy. It could have been revealed there that like Scorpina is the daughter of Zed and Rita, and now they're dealing like she's like she didn't have a lot to do in the OG series, but now she's back and like she blames the Rangers for the death of her family, like which is kind of true. And the final thing I would have done and I would have changed is like again. Okay, so this is again like this is coming from a place of passion, okay, and I get like this isn't important to a lot of people, specifically this brand. And if I'm being totally candid with everybody here and honest, like this series or this movie felt like nobody on set cared, and that's disappointing because like again this next thing I'm going to touch on has a lot to do with how Hasbro values the Power Rangers. Now I said in the beginning I was going to touch back to this, and this is the fact that I was going to touch on was like why we got this, right? Essentially we have writers, producers from New Zealand, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, what is a bad thing is I don't think New Zealand got Power Rangers until like 2011, 2012. I mean, it was way after Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin. And I bring this up to say, I don't think they understand the Mighty Morphin franchise, or at least that Mighty Morphin part of it. It's the equivalent of having me or any other American writer who only knows Power Rangers and asking us to write a Super Sentai film. Like, we don't know. We know Power Rangers. We could write that, but it's not going to be Super Sentai. Super Sentai had kids being possessed. It had like demons. It had Satan. It had blood. People didn't just disappear because of a Green Ranger went down. No, they died. Like, so we wouldn't know that. And so giving Mighty Morphin to a culture who wasn't there for that, I think is kind of like, it kind of lets you know how Hasbro again values the Power Rangers. It's not highly valued. Like they didn't give it thought or any forethought on this, and I think this is why it was handled the way it was and why it looks the way it looks. On top of that is again. And it's this is why it means so much to me, right? Like the series meant so much to me. And again, I'm speaking candidly. Like I feel like this series, movies, I'm not sure because the reason why I keep saying series because I see a lot of like reports saying that they were trying to do Space Next, so it would have been Once and Always would have been an ongoing type series, but I feel like the success of this was based on one man, and that was Jason David Frank, in the sense of like without Jason David Frank doing stuff like the skydive, like taking, I believe he was advertising like let's take martial arts and skydive with a Power Ranger. Like he did a lot of stuff to build up the brand of Power Rangers again, and he did it like. And if you guys feel like I'm wrong, go ahead, comment below, let me know I'm wrong, and like we could talk about this. But I feel like he rebuilt the Power Ranger brand. Like this movie exists today off of the superpower beatdowns and the cons that he like. I mean, like I feel like he was the first Ranger to like actively do cons. So I feel like he built a platform back up for people, the other Rangers to kind of eat off of, right? And like, and when I say that, I say like they all got work because of the stuff that Jason David Frank was doing. And to do this movie, in my opinion, is kind of a slap in the face. Like, this is his legacy, right? Like, he helped everybody get to this point, and it's because of this point. Like, and you don't have to take my word for it. Like, up until a certain point, like, he decided to walk away from Power Rangers because he was tired of covering up his tattoos and so forth. But it was him who decided, not the other way around, because whenever they did, like, a reunion thing, they would always bring him back. Like, that's how much he meant to the Power Rangers. I just feel like what we got borders on disrespect. Just because of the amount of work this man put in, just the amount of work he put in. And that lets you know like how little Hasbro values this brand, this franchise. And it's a moneymaker. I mean, every time they put out the Lightning action figures, it's bananas. also to tie on to that, like Hasbro, they didn't put the Red Ranger in there. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge Austin St. John mark. Tommy was my dude, right? Just a different freak was my dude. However, the idea that you think we care about Austin St. John's like legal issues with tax, like, bro, like we don't care. Put him in the movie, all right? Warner Brothers just put like a convicted felon, I think. I don't know if he's convicted now. That's a little reach. Don't sue me. But I mean, like Ezra Miller was just, a whole movie. I think we could take Austin St. John playing the Red Ranger. Like, put my man in the Red Ranger suit. Like, what are we doing? But anyway, the comeback full circle to what I'm saying is there is, I don't know why there isn't a connection, but there is an obvious connection with the Zords, or at least a connection that could be made with the Zords and the Autobots of Transformers. Like, why we're not connecting these two universes. While I was watching the new Transformers movie and my man put on the freaking Autobot suit, I was like, okay, that's Power Ranger-esque. These are both owned by Hasbro. There's obviously some ground there, right? And then I saw the connection to G.I. Joe at the end. Spoiler alert. Sorry, guys. If that's not a thing, my bad. Oops. You get at me at that. That's my fault. But spoiler alert, continue. There is a after credit scene connection with the Transformers and G.I. Joe. I was like, bro, like the Machine Empire could be a spin-off or an offshoot of Cybertron, thus giving birth to the Megazord. And in Super Sentai, the Megazords are their own sentient beings. Like, I think like there is a connection and another missed opportunity there. So I don't know if they're able to do this again. I would just hope they would like hire. If you're going to hire writers who were around during this time, who have some sort of connection. But like, I don't know. Hire some American writers. Hire any kind of writers who have any idea what Mighty Morphin was and what it meant to. Just hire some writers who have an idea of what Mighty Morphin was and what it meant to people like us. Hasbro, you own like, and there's so much lore to correctly do this that there's kind of no excuse, right? There's kind of no excuse on why you couldn't get this right. Heck, there's the guy on YouTube who released the Power Rangers Deboot did a better legacy film than anything. I don't know. You guys have all the original recipes. You guys should be getting this right. Side note, Cat should forever be Mighty Morphin Pink. Let me just say that. Like, let's just stop diddling around and stop trying to like figure out if we're ever gonna get Kimberly in there. Like, we're not like it's and I don't want to make it disrespectful to Amy Jo Johnson, but she clearly saw the writing on the wall with this one, and like, unless you guys are doing a lot better at the writing of this story, or we're never gonna get her. But in general, I just personally feel like we had Cat for so much longer. At least I feel we had Cat longer. Like, Cat should just be Pink Ranger no matter what. Like, she's in. She's goated. She's it. She's in there. But yeah. So those are my things. Those are some things I would have changed. And you know, again, Cat and Austin St. John need to be in here. Nobody cares about Austin St. John scamming. No, nobody cares. Who knows? I don't know what it was exactly. I just know he has some problems. I don't care about that. That should never stop him from being the Red Ranger. He should always, Hasbro, stop playing around. Just put him in the suit, please. Cat, be Pink, all that stuff. Boom Studios, dude. You guys need to put somebody on the call, because there's no way you make reference to Tommy and Cat's kid and then go off the rails like you guys did. Like, there's so much lore in your own books. Like, I don't understand what's going on over there. I'm just writing down some things, but yeah, that's in a nutshell, man. This is kind of like a bummer video. I'm sorry. If you guys want to talk about it, let's talk about it. But it's literally come to this. Like, it it's just taken me so long to make this video because of this. Like, I've literally wanted to say something awesome, and I couldn't. Oh my gosh! So I just thought of this opportunity. So this would have been the perfect opportunity for you guys to explain the blackout Zord that they sell, like the black and gold Zord, like, because we didn't have the original Rangers, like they just weren't active, so we had to use the stealth sword. I don't know. Like, I just think they could have. There's so many missed opportunities, so many, right? But yeah, guys. Bummer, the bummer videos. I'm so sorry for this, but yeah, there was just so many missed opportunities. And again, I'll continue to excuse it with saying, like, hindsight is 2020. But again, if I'm speaking candidly, dude, like, this, it bordered on disrespect just because of, like, you have the active talent of Walter Jones there, let him carry it. Like, you got to take your ego out of it. Secondly, we're here because of Jason David Frank, again, putting his all into this franchise that, you know, we're at Power Morphicon wouldn't be a thing without Jason David Frank. Like, come on, like, come on, you know, like, it's us secondary at this point. Like, let's tell a story that we're gonna love, but everybody here is eating today. Netflix are giving you money today off of the back of Jason David Frank, and I think, like, we should, especially you know, the cast, his friends, his peers, should be showing up, and the responsibility, I feel like it's kind of on their shoulders. Like, there has to be an Edward Norton. And I feel like it was Amy Jo Johnson who didn't want to show up, but I just feel like somebody has to say, when I say somebody has to be the Edward Norton, someone like Edward Norton has to say, the script isn't good enough. Like, we need to do better. Like, why are we doing this? Like, no, I wouldn't do it. Where are the Mark Hamills of this franchise who would say, like, you know, I'll act this out, but, you know, I disagree in how this character would act, you know? Man, it just kind of makes me sad thinking about, like, you know, it just, you know, Jason David Frank is not here, and it's like, this is what we have to show him, you know? Like, and I didn't even act in it, I didn't even write it, I didn't even produce it, I didn't put it on my network, but I imagine you guys feel bad. Like, I don't know. I do not. I hope. I mean, like, geez, just like, this is it. You know, I'm not expecting Michael Bay, like, things. You know, like, I'm like, whose idea was it to not put Goldar back? Like, what are we doing? Like, who are these? Some two random monsters that were randomly defeated by the Power Rangers? Like we couldn't get Goldar? Like, what? Zed was bit, like, who? Well, where? I just saw the dude who played Gold. I just saw Goldar at a con not too long ago, so I know he's open. Like, what is happening right now? What is happening? I don't know. Okay, Nerd Mulisha, let me know what you guys are thinking, man. I'm gonna have a merch drop coming up real soon. I'm working on a cool podcast with some new friends of mine. It's gonna be awesome. I feel like I'm just saying stuff right now, but it's gonna be cool, man. Just remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as usual, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Stay. I know your anger. I know your dreams.